Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the two-game NFL preseason slate on Thursday. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. I've been covering the NBA Summer League. I've been covering NFL preseason. Also making videos for PGA Day, Fantasy Sports, and NBA Top Shot. If you're unable to watch my YouTube videos, I also upload on Apple Podcasts. I will have a link in the description below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer a ton of different packages on Patreon. NFL package includes preseason, NBA package again includes Summer League, esports package includes Call of Duty and CS:GO, and then a gold package is a combination of them all. I do want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring this episode. I've been having a fantastic start to Summer League on PrizePicks, 16 of 18 so far on my picks, but if you guys are new to it, so for football, there are two different ways you can play. The first way is you take over/under on fantasy points. Second way is single stats. So like you can take over/under on rushing yards, passing yards, receiving yards. I like it. It's a nice change of pace, guys, because you're not playing against one. You're just playing against the house. They have every single sport you can think of, and you can mix and match. So if you want to play a couple from Summer League and a couple from NFL preseason, you can do that. If you guys want to try it out, you can sign up, use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You will get a 100% match up to $100. Basically, put $100 in, you will get a free $100 to play with. So, looking at the board for NFL, it's pretty tight for the preseason. I mean, it's tough because a lot of guys are only going to play a possession or two, but like if they get like one or two catches, then they're going to hit their over. I'll say J.J. Taylor. I know 4.3 kind of feels like a lot, but he's a good pass-catching back, and I expect him to get a lot of work here in this game. So I'm going to lean the over there on J.J. Taylor at 4.3 fantasy points. And then, let's see, is there anything else that kind of stands out for me? Really not much. These all feel about right. Let's see. Maybe a lean to the under on Brian Hoyer. And that's just because the Patriots kind of know what they have in Brian Hoyer. Whereas, I think Mack Jones is going to get a lot more work. So I think lean to the under on Hoyer and lean to the over on J.J. Taylor. But those are not very confident. And finally, I just want to thank you guys again for all of your support. It's been a crazy few days here in the Summer League. Been really, really having good few days myself. Great days for members. We're doing takedowns every single night. If you guys do enjoy all this content, NBA, NFL content, if you could, leave a like button on the video. Let's try to aim for 100 likes on this one. Subscribe if you haven't already. Closing in on that 10,000 subscriber mark. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, because it would be great to hit 10,000 before the start of the NFL regular season, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and you don't live. With Summer League for the next week, I'm not going to be able to do live streams for NFL preseason on YouTube, but I will be live for Patreon doing a combo Summer League and NFL preseason live stream tomorrow. All right, guys, so let's talk about this two-game slate here. I probably should have brought up the Vegas odds. That's one thing I forgot to do. Let me bring that up really quick. First games for preseason, usually pretty low scoring. I mean, you saw with the Hall of Fame game last week, it was not the most fun football to watch. But yeah, we have Steelers and Eagles, a 35.5 over-under. Eagles are 1-point favorites. And Washington, New England, a 36.5 over-under. The Washington football team are favored by 2. So we'll start off with the quarterback position. And we'll start with Washington. So Taylor Henneke is probably the guy I'm looking to if I'm going to take a shot on one of these Washington quarterbacks. He's projected to get about a half of football. It's actually pretty good for the preseason. Normally, most teams have 3 to 4 quarterbacks, and at most we'll get a quarter to a quarter and a half. So with Henneke expected to get close to 2 quarters, I think he makes for one of the safer quarterback plays in the slate. Again, if you look at PrizePicks, he's actually projected for a lot, 6.3 fantasy points, and it's because of that projected playing time for him. Now, on the New England side of Cam Newton versus Mack Jones, I think I would lean to Mack Jones just because the rookie, I think he's going to get a good amount of work. I would guess he gets close to a half here. He's been a little bit up and down in practice, but I expect him to get the most playing time. So Mack Jones is probably the quarterback I'm looking to on New England. On the Pittsburgh side, once again, Big Ben's not going to play, so it's going to be a trio of Rudolph, Haskins, and Dobbs. Rudolph going to start. Haskins played the most last game. He didn't have the best game, but I think he's probably the safest one. Josh Dobbs, he does have that rushing upside, the floor of the rushing upside, but he got less than a quarter last game. So I think the safest play on Pittsburgh for quarterback is probably Dwayne Haskins. And finally, Philadelphia. So Hurts is going to start, probably only play a possession or two. But again, he's got that rushing upside. So I'm actually okay going to Jalen Hurts if you want to roll the dice on him and just kind of hope he either gets there in a possession or plays two possessions. So again, has that rushing ability. A little bit interested there in Jalen Hurts. And then Nick Mullins, too, is going to close out the game. Expected to get a decent amount of work. I think he would be the other Philadelphia quarterback I would look to. Let's move on to running back. So, again, a preseason running back, normally starters only get a possession, maybe two, and then they really spread it out from there. So, Washington running backs, Antonio Gibson is talented. He's a good he's a good receiving back. I think he's viable. I think he'll play on at least one or two possessions. As far as, the backup running backs go for Washington, maybe you can roll the dice on Lamar Miller or Jonathan Williams, but I don't have a great feeling on either. For New England running backs, I'm probably going to stay away from the main guys as far as Harris, Michelle, and James White go. But there's a couple guys that I'm looking to here. Stevenson, their rookie, they've said he has not looked good, which is not the best sign. But he's young, again, a rookie, and I expect him to get a decent amount of work. And then you have J.J. Taylor, second-year player who is fighting for a roster spot. He's a good receiving back. And they expect him to get a majority of the work in the second half. So I do like Taylor, and I like Stevenson there for New England. Moving on to Pittsburgh. So surprisingly, Najee Harris actually played a good amount last game. He played a quarter and a half. And Mike Tomlin said he won't cap Harris's reps during Thursday's preseason contest. So I'm assuming we get similar work, a quarter and a half, which is really, really good for a running back. So I think Najee Harris is actually a very, very safe play there. Benny Snell's banged up. Keelan Ballage is banged up. So they're a little bit thin in the backfield. So a couple other guys I'm looking to behind Harris are McFarland and Jalen Samuels. Both are good receiving backs. Samuels got a ton of work that last preseason game. And McFarland, again, is a guy that can catch some passes. I think he had 3 carries, 1 catch last game. So Pittsburgh's probably the team I feel the best about for running backs. I like Harris a lot at the top. And then McFarland and Samuels, I think, get a decent amount of work too. Finally, Philadelphia. So Sanders probably only gets a series or so. I'm probably not going to go there. There are a couple guys that I'm looking to for Philadelphia, that being Kerryon Johnson and Kenneth Gainwell. So Kenneth Gainwell is the rookie. He's a really, really good receiving back. He's like a scat back. So, Draftkings is full point PPR, which is really good for a guy like Gainwell. So I like Gainwell and I like Kerryon Johnson, another talented receiving back that is fighting for a roster spot. So those are the two guys I'm looking to for Philadelphia on running back. And a wide receiver is super tricky, especially in the first preseason game for most of these teams, because they're really going to spread it out. And you're just going to be if you get 1 or 2 points, 1 or 2 catches from one of your wide receiver, you're going to be really happy. So on the Washington side for wide receiver, if you want to roll the dice into Terry McLaurin and hope he gets there in a possession or two, I think that's fine. Cam Sims, Steven Sims are decent options, but don't love either. Gandy Golden's fighting for a roster spot. I think he'll get a good amount of work, maybe more in the second half, but not a lot of standout wide receivers. There's really not a lot of standout receivers at all on the slate. They're all very risky because most receivers are not going to play a ton. On New England, again, same thing. I'll say Jacoby Myers is probably their best receiver. If you want to go to him in a possession or two and hope he gets it done, I think that's fine. He'll be playing with the starters, obviously. As far as kind of the bench guys, you guys fighting for spots, maybe a Marvin Hall or a Gunner. Gunner out of the slot, I think we'll get a decent amount of work in the second half. And kind of Marvin Hall, again, is fighting for a spot. So those two guys I have a little bit of interest in for New England. On the Pittsburgh side, so surprisingly, again, the starters played a good amount. Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, both played into the second quarter. So I'm assuming we'll get similar run. I actually like both Johnson and Claypool. You can go to Smith-Schuster too, but he got pulled a little bit earlier. So, yeah, young receivers in Johnson and Claypool, I think both look pretty good. And then, you have some young guys like Rico Busey's been impressing in camp, McCoy, Tyler Simmons. I think those guys get a majority of work in the second half and are viable GPP plays. And finally, Philadelphia. So, Philadelphia a little bit banged up at the wide receiver spot. Again, Rieger, same thing I'll say about the other wide receivers as far as kind of the number one. I think he plays a series or two. He's definitely in play. Guys fighting for roster spots here that I think are intriguing, like a J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. He's actually going to move into the slot. He's a big body wide receiver. I think he'll get a decent amount of work in this game. And then you even have a rookie, Quez Watkins, who's been impressing in camp. I think he'll be a popular play, but I do think they want to see what they have in him, and I think he'll get a decent amount of snaps as well. So that is it for wide receiver, guys. Let's move on to tight end. So tight end, again, really tricky. Just like wide receiver, you're like jumping for joy if one of your tight ends gets a catch in this game. So Logan Thomas, I expect to get a series or two. He's a very talented receiving tight end. I actually think he's one of the safer plays, and it's just because he probably gets like a catch or so in a possession or two. So yeah, I like Logan Thomas. Ricky Seals-Jones is fighting for a roster spot. I think he'll get a good amount of work in the second half. Viable contrarian play at tight end. On the New England side, not much here that I love. Like Juju Smith might get a series. I don't love the New England tight ends. Now for Pittsburgh, one guy kind of stands out here, and that is rookie Pat Freiermuth. So he didn't play the last Hall of Fame game because he had that shoulder injury, but he practiced on Tuesday. I expect him to play, and I expect him to get a decent amount of work. He's a talented, big body tight end, good receiving tight end. I like Freiermuth. I think he's definitely one of the better tight end plays on the slate. And then finally, Philadelphia, Goddard and Ertz. Ertz has actually been outplaying Dallas Goedert. Now, I don't expect a ton of work. Again, maybe a series or two for a lot of the main guys, but you can definitely get a catch or two in that time. So if you want to roll the dice on Zach Ertz or Dallas Goedert, I think that those are the other two tight ends I would consider. And finally, defense. So, I mean, if you look at the over-under, let's see. Who is the lowest over? I guess Philadelphia and Steelers are technically the lowest over-under. So, Eagles defense, I guess. You really, I mean, look at the quarterbacks. Okay, so who are the Eagles going to be playing against defense? They're going to be playing against Pittsburgh, but no Big Ben. But then again, you're going to have like Najee Harris, probably the starting receivers, play a little bit more. Really, I don't have a strong take on defense. I will just say, hope the defense that you play doesn't kill you. And that's all I got, guys, for this 2-game slate. So if you guys have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and you don't go live. Thanks again. Have a great day, guys, and I will see you all tomorrow in the next video.